Hello, future Hemant. I know it's been a long time. The last time I uploaded was back in like the end of April, I guess. Yeah, that's a long time ago. That was around 8 months, 8 months ago. Yeah, I think mid-December, but almost. Yeah, so almost 8 months back. A lot happened in this 8 months gap. I finished the whole of 12th, and I did a lot of coverage. I covered a lot more than what I did in 11th. 11th was around from starting of April till end of March, so almost a full year. The syllabus we covered more syllabus in 12th than what we did in the whole of last year, last academic year in 11th. And yeah, I didn't get time to make these videos. I didn't get time to bother about this channel. And I shouldn't have made a 30-minute long video because I myself didn't go through it even once in these 8 months. So yeah, I'll stick to making shorter videos from now on, if I'm gonna make any video. Um, and today's topic is about why I still believe in God. See, I take a scientific approach to this in believing in God, and then there's the moral approach, and then there's the final take back. And yes, I do strongly believe in science, but I am not an atheist. I still believe in God. I have three reasons why. Sum it up in one-liners. Then the first reason is that there's no proof against him. Second reason is that it's possible. It's possible. There's a good chance it's possible. And third reason is that it's good to believe in God. You get benefits with it. Not just the sweets you get at festivals, but other benefits too. The first reason, starting with, there's no possibility to prove him wrong. Now, let's take in maths. You put forward a theory. You have several people saying it's right, but no one has got a solid evidence saying it's wrong. What do you call that? Let me Google it. I don't know that either. Raymond's hypothesis. I didn't Google it, but Raymond's hypothesis. It's called a hypothesis because Raymond. I think it was Raymond who found it. He believed it was true, and no one could prove him wrong. So it remains as a hypothesis. And what do you do with hypothesis? You wait until. No, that's going off topic. What my point is that as long as you don't prove it wrong, it's still important. It's still out there. If someone goes out there and proves the Raymond hypothesis wrong, then no one's gonna care about it, except except maybe 10th boards, but I don't know. Like except maybe school syllabus, but no scientist gonna care. So until you can't prove something wrong, it's out there and it matters. So there's no proof that God doesn't exist. There's no proof that there are few people there are many people, everyone says he exists, but there are a few proofs, few things that you can count as proofs that God exists. But yeah, there's no solid proof saying that, which fits our scientific methods. I mean, Hindus also have done many different. They also found out many different medicines. They didn't do it with the help of science. Maybe there is a way of proving him, but the modern day science doesn't accept that. So yeah, that's my first reason. The second reason is, think of this. This is the scientific approach towards God existing. What I believe is that God isn't any ultimate being or a creator. Maybe he is a creator, but I don't think he's the ultimate being. I use the type 1, type 2 civilization structure. Type 1 civilizations can use all the power of their planet, type 2 civilizations can use all the power of the solar system. So maybe God is a type 2 or type 3 civilization, type 2 or type 3 civilization creature who just bought Earth. You know how we buy land, and the ants that living there, do we ever negotiate with those ants when we buy that piece of land? No. We buy the land, and depending on a usage, we either leave the ants, let them do their thing, or we just kill them off if we want to build a house and anything, or make a farmland out of that. So until we reach a time where we need to use the land, we never interact with the ants. We never even bother looking at them. We don't even realize that they exist. Maybe the same thing is with Earth. Maybe we're just a piece of land that has been bought recently by someone, let's say, and God visited us recently, let's say just 2000 years ago. Earth lasted 4 billion years, and everyone, if you see all religions like Hindu or Christianity, all of them cite God. I mean, all of them show occurrences of God happening, let's say 2 to 3,000 years ago. So all of those religions had some story back at that time where God existed. So my assumption is that he's merely a type 2 or type 3 civilization, and he can travel through the third dimension. So, you know how in a 2D world, if we put ourselves in a 2D world, we can project any shape we want. So, the same things with God, but he travels in 4D or even beyond, so he can project into any form he wants. And since the dominating species is humans, he decided to show up as a human. Or maybe he bought it even before, but now he's noticing strange activity on that. And now he noticed that there's these people called humans. They've reached pretty close in development compared to gods, and we are near to type 1 civilizations. So for a type 2 or type 3 civilization, they'd find it to be special. But if, let's say, a colony of ants, they grow very fast on your land, what do you think on doing? You either you observe them. There's some people who observe them. There are the other type of people who just remove them off. And let's say if there's a colonization of ants in the same land again, then they'll remove it again. Or yeah, but the former type of people I'm talking about, maybe that's the case wherein. So, what the type 2 or type 3 civilization creatures planning to do with us is that he has no use for this planet right now, so he's just letting the people do whatever they want to because it doesn't really make a difference. He's like the person who leaves the ant colony to just grow and grow and grow. He doesn't care about it. He would only care about it when he finds a use for it. Or when the ants make up something special, which is not likely because compared to us, ants are dumb creatures. So compared to gods, whatever we are gonna make, they already know a ton about it. And so, according to that theory, he hasn't probably found any use for us or our land. So he's just keeping it on hold. And since we grew so rapidly, he just came to check up on us to see if we're doing anything very special or not. But he realized we're just like the rest of the people compared when you see it from their perspective. From our perspective, we find dolphins and, let's say, deers to be of the same intelligence, but actually dolphins are much smarter than deers. Same thing goes with gods. They probably won't see the difference between our intelligence and the intelligence of a rat because they're much superior to us. Yeah, so if you see by that way, he's merely a type 2 or type 3 civilization creature who's probably bought this land, or maybe they have an even advanced system, an advanced society, and they have even weirder rules. As we progress as a society, our rules get more weird and weird. So their rules are like even more weird. Maybe they have to do this particular set of things when they encounter a planet, like some sort of code. But one thing is for sure, he hasn't really found a use with us yet. And you know what kids do, like when they see a colony of ants, they go play around, so my suspicion is that the type 2 or type 3 civilization that visited our planet also brought along his family, and the kid of that family started playing with us or something. He's probably the kid of that family, the growing creature, the growing type 2 type 3 civilization under the guy who bought the land. He's the one who visited Earth. That's my speculation. Usually, when you buy a piece of land and you take your family along to see the land, let's say you're a full grown adult, the only one working, you buy a land, you don't have any use with it, and you see a colony of ants growing. So so let's say you take your son, like say like a 5 or 6 year old son. He's gonna see this huge mountain filled with ants. What is he gonna do? There's a good chance he's gonna go to the mountain, poke it a little bit, and then the father steps in and takes him back. So I think that's the case that happened with us. So the kid growing the growing kid under the supervision of the owner of our planet, he came and visited our planet probably. The owner would have already visited us like a couple times, but he wouldn't have interfered. But this kid, he's still learning, so he's out of control. And since they're type 2, type 3 civilization, the kids are going to be very smart. They'll know how to manipulate humans. They know how humans work, everything about them. You learnt about ants in like what, first, second grade, and you knew almost everything about them by second or third grade. So same thing goes with the kid, since he's like much smarter, and he's probably the one who interfered with humans, and he's probably the one who interfered with humans, went to different communities, did this thing, did that thing, doing things like dying on a cross and being born again, or doing things like fighting wars like that, and to different places. He must have gone and visited every part, most of Earth. That's but humans couldn't go from one place to another, tell that, oh, I've seen God, I've seen the Almighty come there. So they made their own theories around it, and that's how it came up with different religions. If you notice, all religions, they have one thing in common: they believe in one superior, someone. They believe in a superior being, that one, the thing we call God. All religions have that in common. So basically, different religions are basically different ways of interpreting God. But the fact that God was there is common in all religions. So yeah. So I think they just paid a quick visit to us in the recent few years. And would God care about us if we die? Let's say if he turns out to be the type 2 or type 3 civilization being, would he care about us if we get wiped out? Use the same example again. Again, you have a plot of land. Let's say the ants are infected by a disease and they just die out. Do you bother? Do you bother saving them? Do you even bother about them? No, you don't. Does the kid bother about them? No, he doesn't. In fact, he'd stay away from the dead ants because they kind of stink. So that's gonna happen. Like, let's say if these pollution levels keep rising, and let's one day we cause our own doom and most of us die, and there's some people just living out of the scraps, God's not going to come and visit us. The kid that visited us, he's not going to come to either, because we're in a very horrible state. You visit a garden only when it's pretty and filled with flowers. You don't go visit dead gardens. So sad. That's the same thing. That's probably what already happened with the dinosaurs. Let's say they bought it. Let's say they bought Earth a long time ago, and dinosaurs were getting wiped out by some of the other reasons, and now the Earth is just filled with dead dinosaurs. Did God come to save them? No, He didn't. All that happened was that the dinosaurs were replaced by other beings. Just like how if an anthill dies, there's some other group of ants that take over that the mountain that they made, and they probably and the dead ants just go mix with this mountain soil, and they're never to be found. So yeah, in that case, Yeah, like that there is a possibility of God existing. That, I don't know, that makes sense to me. It looks funny, it sounds funny, but it kind of makes sense to me. Like there's something about that tale coming in telling me that it makes proper sense. Like you figured it out, figured everything out. Um, yeah, that keeping that tale aside, now we come to the third reason. The third reason isn't about if he exists or not. The third reason is about the benefits. See, let's say 500, 600 years ago, there was no constitution. There was no South Africa. There was no South Africa anywhere, the modern South Africa. No one wrote constitutions on what to do. Back then, religion was helpful because it had a set of codes. It's written by some smart people, and it governed you. It governed people. It provided them rules. It provided them with rules. It told them what to do. So that way, we as a society didn't collapse all of a sudden. We could grow in forms of societies. We had some common rules. There's some common things we'd adhere to. So yeah, back then it was useful, and even now it's useful. Let's say someone's about to commit a theft. He the last If he's gonna get scared, the thing he's gonna be scared about isn't the police or anyone else. It's God. The fear and respect, the fear and the fear we have for God is so powerful that no matter where we go, it's always going to be with us if you believe in God. Basically, if you believe in God, you're not going to go in the wrong direction. The whole the whole the way the God and the way the Bible or Bhagavad Gita or any of those holy books work is that they, when all of us believe in one thing, you very strongly think that it's true. So everyone believing it is what makes God exist. The power of God exists because everyone believes in it. That's how astrology works too. If you believe it, it works for you. How astrology works is that if if let's say they're gonna say a set of predictions for one type of sign. They're gonna say the most general things. Let's say if you work harder, you'll get more money, you'll get financial success. Does that have any relation to do with when you're born? It doesn't matter when you're born. If anyone works harder, they get a better job. But when they segregate the values, let's say I pick three adjectives. You are you're gonna if you work harder in your financial areas of life, you'll get financially better. If you work hard in the relationship sector of your life, your relationships will get better. And if you let's say for students, if you study more, you'll get more results. Do you realize they have no relation with what to do with when you're born? But these three apply for anyone. These three will apply for anyone. If I say all of these three together to one person, it'll make sense. What what astrology does is that if you're born in these 4 months, okay, this is gonna happen to you. Financial success will happen to you. If you're born in the next 4 months, this is gonna happen to you. And if you're born in the last 4 months, this is gonna happen to you. Basically, they state 12 obvious facts divided into 12 signs, and of course, they're gonna happen. So it's true because it's obvious it's gonna happen. So people end up believing it. The place where people make mistake is thinking that it has a relation with when you're born. That's where astrology gets so much fame. It works, but it works for everything. That there's no point of segregation. There's no point of having different signs. Then whatever they tell, it's gonna work for everyone. That's how astrology and religion works. If you think astrology is stupid, but you can't call astrology stupid because whatever they say does happen most of the time. I mean, you can't change yourself by prediction, but most of their predictions are true. If you Yeah, that's so there's nothing really wrong in astrology, but just because the part of astrology where you have bad signs, you need to pay like 10,000 to remove some shunny or bad in your life. Yeah, the part of it that involves money is bad since it's inconveniencing you. Other than that, astrology isn't really stupid. If you think astrology is stupid, then even religion is stupid because religion works on the same thing. Religion works on the same basis. Coming back to the advantages of following believing in religion, thing is like not people are not going to monitor you the whole time. That's the biggest advantage of religion. The religion, most of religion is basically that there's someone up there watching you. So that's how religion becomes beneficial for society. Even though we have like full framed up, beautifully constructed set of laws, or let's say the constitution, they're not. People won't think of it every time when they're doing something wrong. But whenever you're doing something wrong, no one really thinks about the constitution. But everybody gets a thought of God once. Everybody thinks that, oh, there's someone up there watching us. So it's not God that does us good. It's the belief of God that keeps us in line, that keeps us from doing wrong. That's good for the society because everyone's gonna stay ordered. So in that way, it's gonna benefit you, and also believing in God eliminates the fear of death. So the different most religions say the same thing. If you die, either you'll be reborn or you'll be sent in heaven. But anyone with a scientific mind would know that if you die, you die. You just don't exist. And how is it like not existing? Do you remember 1980? Okay, let's say. Do you remember 1880? Do you remember how is it that time? No, it didn't even happen. For you, in your perspective, it didn't even happen. That's how not existing feels like. You won't even feel anything. That's the thing. Humans back then, let's say 1,000 years ago, they couldn't comprehend that. They used to keep worrying what would happen if I die, what would happen if I die. And I used to be scared of death too before I strongly started believing in God. What your religion tells is that, oh, you're gonna go there, here, this, you're gonna go there, you're gonna go there if you do good, if you go, you're gonna go there if you do bad. There's nothing like that. If you're gonna die, you're not gonna exist. That lie was made to stop everyone from thinking about death, and that again benefits the society. People don't waste their time thinking about death. So what religion isn't true, but it's a method of thinking that helps you be better in society or makes you contribute more instead of wandering around thinking of useless thoughts. It tells you what you need. It doesn't tell you what you need to know. It tells you about things that'll make you work better. So I'm not saying everything that is written in your holy book is true. But everything written in that book has been put some thought over. People have put some thought in making that. And whatever's written in that book makes you less of a burden. Makes you less of a burden to society. So yeah, it's not about if it exists or not. It's about does it benefit you or not. And yeah, religion works for me too. And I know that there's no proof of God, but merely by believing God exists, He does good to good people. If you work good, you're gonna get good. The belief is what pushes you forward. The belief is what makes you a better person. This is why positive attitude works. Negative attitude works in expectations. Positive attitude works in when you're putting in work. So you should have a balance of both. You should know when to be positive and when to be negative. Positive attitude isn't about expecting. It's about being better. The religion provides you that positive attitude. Positive attitude isn't about a prediction. Am I gonna get good or not? Positive attitude is about doing better. The thought that you're gonna get well, the thought that you're gonna win, the thought of it, that pushes you, that inspires you, that gives you a little push. You may not win. You may not win. You never know if you're gonna win or lose. But the thought that you're gonna win makes you get better. And why would you not want better? Simple. Same thing as how religion works. If you do good, you'll get good karma, all that thing. You won't actually get it. You're not predicting if you're gonna get it. But by thinking that you're gonna get it, you're gonna do better. So by thinking that, let's say I'm gonna get a pay raise, you're gonna work harder. You're gonna work harder. And it doesn't really matter if you're gonna get a pay raise or not at this moment. Because at this moment you need to give your best. And if positive attitude helps you in giving your best, you believe in positive attitude. Simple. So yeah, religion isn't about true or not. Religion is about benefits. And Yeah, it benefits you in a way. It makes you go in the right direction, be it in any sector of life. So that's why I believe in religion. It has its benefits and it's not wrong. It's not proven right, but it's not wrong, and it benefits you. So that's my argument for still believing in religion. Of course, I know there are a few things in religion that don't make sense. Like, let's say there are a few things in religion that don't make sense. Let's say Brahmins can't eat meat. Are they like special people? Are they appointed by nature or something? That, oh, you guys are special. You guys are Brahmins. You need to have pot bellies and not eat any meat. That's stupid. Those kind of rules can be ignored. There are a lot of rules in our religion that don't make sense. Let's say sati. Let's sati for example. If your husband dies, you go jump into a pit of fire. In the whole of caste system, maybe because again everything that's made in religion has a purpose, but keep in mind that these stuff were made like 2000 to 3000 years ago. So back then these practices had a meaning back like 2000 or 3000 years ago. I've seen this somewhere, like there's a scientific reason for why you put lemons under the tires of your vehicle. Back 2000 3000 years ago, the vehicles that used to be were either buffaloes or horses. So what they did is they made them step over lemons because lemons has an antiseptic. So let's say they step out in mud. Let's say they're going out on the ride for the first time. So they when you take an animal out for a ride for the first time, there's a chance that the infections from the ground may attack it. So that's the reason why they make them step over lemons. The lemon will spread all over the sole, which has an antiseptic feature. Let's say if there's any bacteria in the mud, bad bacteria in the mud, the lemon somehow works against it and keeps the cow safe. But then that's another problem of religion now. Now it's 2000 years later, after Hinduism is created, and people just blindly follow that. Whenever they buy a new car, they just put four lemons under the tires and just go on over it. We just blindly follow it. That is also wrong. And also, yeah, that proves one point. That brings up one statement that you don't need to 100% follow religion. Let's say back then, in Hinduism, eating beef was not allowed. Back then, it had a logical reason. This is my assumption that back then there weren't many cows out there, and cows had a useful cows had a good use of giving milk. Milk was very nutritious and helped children in reaching their nutrition levels and all. But if everyone slaughtered cows and ate them, there won't be many cows remaining. And since there were very few cows back then, they made up stories saying that oh, cow is the holy being, cow is useful. They must have said that cow is useful so you don't kill it. But everyone later on years, everyone interpreted it as cows are holy, you shouldn't kill them, killing them is a sin. A part of religion is based on lie. There are some lies in religion, but that lies make you act better. Again, there are some lies that don't make you act better because those lies worked 2000 years ago. Most of them work now, but there's some of them that don't work now. There's some of them, yeah, that don't make sense. That following them don't make sense now in this age where we have improved so much. Now you can go to any store, and not in India but in other countries, you can go to any store and buy beef. But no, these people won't eat beef. Yeah, just because of those just blindly believing that cows are holy, you can't eat. They eat sheep. Pigs are pigs are disgusting to them. Cows are holy, and sheep is okay to eat. They all three of them are just mammals. Pigs I can understand. The only pigs you find here in India are the ones near the gutter. But what's the difference between a sheep and a cow? Sheep also gives milk. Only the milk isn't useful. Cow gives milk. It gives nutritious milk. But we have plenty of cows in this era. Yeah, in this day and age, we have plenty of cows. So eating cows won't reduce the population of cows. And since 80% of India's Hindus, people who believe that cows are holy beings and shouldn't be eaten, they don't eat cows, and there are cows all over India. And the cows that die, not all of them go to Christians. So a lot of the meat of the cows that are gonna die are being wasted just because of a mere belief that eating cows are holy and eating. So over here in right now, not eating cows, a large number of people growing cows but not eating them. It's actually bad. It's a waste of meat. Let's say when they die, and not just like 1-2 kgs. It weighs like 100-200. It could serve a lot of people. Yeah, so you can follow religion, but there's no obligation for you to follow it 100%. Religion is only what you believe it to be. That's the good thing about it. You can tailor it in whatever way you want. If you believe this is religion for you, then that is religion. That's the reason why we have many religions and all of them work. Let's say Islam or Christianity or Hinduism, all of them work. All you have to do is believe in it. And if all you have to do is believe in it, you can alter the religion however you want without changing the core values, without changing the things that still work, the beliefs that still work. You can change the more unimportant, unnecessary ones. Like, let's say, yeah, not eating beef. Let's say you go to US and everyone's eating beef. You won't be able to resist it. Then it's okay to change up religion a little bit. Just go phone God and be like, I want to eat beef, and I think it's okay to eat beef in this day and age, so I eat beef. Take no guilt in it. As long as you don't take guilt in it, it's fine. The reason why atheism doesn't work for some people, including me, is because I had a doubt. I had a doubt if God exists or not. And if you in the future have a doubt if God exists or not, just believe in God. That's what I did, and it worked for me. Because if you believe, if you feel doubt, you have a feeling that what you do is not right, and that's where the feeling of guilt comes from. And guilt is bad. We don't want guilt. So to avoid guilt, just stick to one side. Any side is gonna help. Either you completely don't believe God or you completely believe Him. Not 100%. By completely, I mean 95%. That also works. Yeah. So if you're not gonna believe God, don't believe Him at all. And if you live under your parents, if you're a kid who lives under parents, if your parents are if your parents celebrate all festivals, they force you to go to the temple, you don't really have a choice. Just believe in God. Again, them forcing you into all this thing, them making you follow all traditions, it's gonna plant a doubt in your head, thinking, are you correct or not? The thing that's bad here is not following God. The thing that's bad is having that doubt. So if you want to not have any trouble later on and not feel bad about what you've done, stick to one side, stay with that side. Switching is fine. If you go from atheist to believer, then it's fine. But if you're going to one side, stick completely to that side. If you stay in the middle, you're gonna have doubts, and doubts is gonna get raised to guilt. Guilt is gonna raise to some feeling of regret and sadness, and no one wants to be sad. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I thought I'll make this video short, but every time I think of making a video, I either don't make it because I fear it's gonna be too long, or I just make it. I just go ahead and make it. And when I talk about whatever's in my mind, it just goes on for a long time. I think for a long time on these topics, and putting it out in 30-minute videos isn't easy. I may stutter. I am stuttering in this video, but still, what I think about can be properly put in hours. To properly put what I think, it's gonna take hours. But if I have to do it in 30 minutes, of course I'm gonna stutter. I have to speak a little faster than usual. I have to bring up every topic as soon as I finish the previous topic. So don't mind the stuttering thing. Don't think I'm illiterate or something. I've studied English just like the rest of you. But you guys don't make these 30-minute videos talking about what you strongly want to express, what you want to tell a lot about, but want to make it as short as possible. So yeah, and whatever I say in these videos are all thought on the go. So whatever I'm saying right now, I'm thinking about it right now. I don't make scripts, and I don't memorize what to say. Whatever I say comes right out of my mind, and I think spontaneously. So of course there's gonna be stuttering unless unless you prepare for it, it's gonna start. And there are gonna be very few people who can say what they think about in their mind and not stutter at all. But I'm not one of those few people, and most probably you aren't either. So this me stuttering doesn't mean that I'm not confident about this topic. I strongly feel that this whatever I've stated is correct, and I don't think any of it this is a joke. It's what I've observed over the years, even though I've lived for long not long, but these are my strong beliefs, and I might tell it out while stuttering, but I strongly believe in them. That I have no doubt in me when whatever I'm saying about. The only problem is that how do is to express it, because when I talk to myself, I use all short forms and thing in my head. And when you're thinking about something, when you're trying to convince yourself anything, you don't speak in perfect English to yourself in your mind. So when I'm merely putting those thoughts out, so it takes some work for me. I know it is bad that I stutter, but hopefully I get better when I can finally remove my concentration out of those J whatever crap. I can put I can learn a little bit of speech, talking skills. But for now, yeah, whatever video I make, I'm gonna stutter, and I don't think I'll be doing anything about that in college either, unless uh maybe in job, like let's say to impress your seniors, that skill comes useful. But college, I don't think so. I'm gonna stutter in whatever video I make. Yeah, that's a long video. That's my longest till far. I only made 4 videos, but 3 serious ones. But yeah, that's my longest by far. I think I'll end it here. Let's not make it too long, and let's not talk about abstract things. We'll make a video on each of the separate topics. As of now, yeah. And should you believe in God or not? The final question. If you already believe in God, as of now, if you believe in God, really believe Him strongly. Break the rules which you think don't make sense. The beef thing, or example, or let's say Brahmins have to do this thing where they chant some slogan every day. That's inconvenient, man. All of us are busy. Don't do it. Just break it. Break the rule for yourselves. Break whatever you find doesn't make sense. And if you don't believe in God, but you have that doubt, even if you have a little doubt, believe in God. Just stay on the good side. You never know what the type 2 creature is gonna do with us. If there's an ant that, okay, let's take the anthill example. If there's an ant that acts weird, it climbs all over your skin. Even if you're an adult, you're gonna kill it, right? So don't get on the bad side of him. There is a chance he might exist. So if you have a doubt, think of it use that logic and just believe in religion. And am I gonna eat beef? If I get a chance, like let's say not here, let's say I go foreign, some other country, I'm gonna eat beef. And whenever you break the rules of religion, have no regret. Only then it works. Only then you're gonna be satisfied with what you've done. The end goal of life is to be happy and all that bullshit. So yeah, just be confident and happy with whatever you've done. Have no regrets. So if you're gonna break a rule of a religion, break it with no regrets. And don't break rules that's gonna piss off your parents. Just let's say yeah, there are gonna be some rules that are weird if you don't follow them. So don't break that rules. That's gonna inconvenience others. They're gonna shout on you. That's again gonna make you feel guilty. Don't break rules that are gonna make you feel guilty, directly or indirectly. Either you're gonna feel guilty, or others are gonna make you feel guilty. If there's any rule that's gonna give rise to that, then don't break it. Just stick to it. And if you truly, truly don't believe in God, there's nothing wrong in that. As long as you can, go away from people who say, "Oh, why don't you believe in God?" As long as you don't get influenced by those people, it's perfectly fine to not believe in God. Is it fine to believe in astrology? Yes, yes. It's fine to believe in astrology. Just when someone says astrology is stupid, just don't take it to the heart. Whoever says that, don't take. As long as, yeah, all of it works as long as you don't take it to the heart when someone opposes you. Yeah. And it's not even accepting them. Let's say astrology is stupid, but you believe in them. All you do is respect his opinion, say that okay, you think like that, in your way it makes sense, and just move on. Go on with believing astrology. And the final take of this is just believe in whatever you're doing. Don't take guilt in anything. Let's say you're gonna do something, break a rule or not follow religion at all, follow astrology or something. Be confident in what you're doing. Take no guilt. Yeah, so I guess the final word is take no guilt in whatever you're doing. I'll end the video, man.